Hey guys, it's Quinn Reminder Dodek, and I know I haven't posted in a month, but this video is going to explain everything. New note, I'm using a new microphone. I usually use my built-in microphone for the commentaries. I'm using a Samson CO1U, and it was really, really quiet for some reason, so I had to turn the gain up all the way to 24, and then it seemed as though it was either channel 1 or channel 2 wasn't as loud as the other, so my commentary is going to be in mono, not in stereo, but I don't really think that matters just because it's a commentary. Sorry if that bothers anybody. But yeah, the gameplay, I go 15-2 on Vertigo, which is one of the new maps that I really, really like. It's right up there with Studio. Um, and I really like that. We have some Mob of the Dead gameplay coming soon as well. We made it to round 32, although about 10 rounds at the end of that were sort of camping. I tried to kill myself right there because I was the last person and I didn't think I could do it. But this gameplay turned out to be really, really good. So, what's been happening in the past few weeks? Well, the Wednesday before Mother's Day, I had a bunch of poison ivy, so I went to the doctor and then I got it. Well, by it I mean prednisone, which is a corticosteroid for poison ivy. It's an anti-inflammatory, and it makes the poison ivy it makes it not so much inflamed, and then it stops the poison ivy from coming back. So I'm on that. Well, no, I'm not on it anymore. But my poison ivy's fine right now. But there's a lot worse medical things for me at the moment. And then they said that I had somewhat high blood pressure there. I'm just gonna go over everything, even though this sort of doesn't relate to the main story. They said I sort of had high blood pressure, so I was just focusing on that for a few weeks, and I got it down. When I went to the visit, it was 134 over 84, which is right under what people consider high. Right now, it's 130 over 80, so I'm getting better. But again, that's not the main health concern of mine right now. So what happened was, apparently I had a 99-degree fever and I didn't feel like going to school the next day. So I said, hey, it's my obligation to stay home when I have a fever. So I stayed home. Missed a math quiz that I did not know was going to happen that day. Then Friday was a celebration day of some sort at my school. It's called STEM Day. It was just horrible, but I had to go. So then on Saturday, I usually check my body for symmetry, of just randomly, because I'm always such a worrywart that I'm gonna get cancer or something. So what happened was I checked and I was just feeling my neck and I noticed a small bump where my lymph nodes are in my neck, and I freaked the fuck out. Like, I've never had inflamed lymph nodes, like even when I'm sick. So my mom convinced me it was just lymph nodes, and I calmed down enough. And then tomorrow was Mother's Day, and I woke up for breakfast, and they were twice as fucking big, and I freaked. I freaked so much that I made my mom take me to urgent care on Mother's Day, and I still feel really bad about that, even though she said it's okay. I still don't think it's okay, Mom. I'm sorry. I know you don't watch this, but so then what happened was they thought that it was a cyst of some sort, and they scheduled a sonogram at the medical labs and complexes. I live in an area where all the medical offices are bundled into one. Like my pediatrics, my orthodontist, my dentist, the dermatologist. Everywhere I go is on one street. And so what happened was we got the sonogram, and then they just wanted to keep doing tests because there was liquid inside whatever bump it was. Still thought it was a cyst. So then I got a CT scan without contrast. Contrast, they have an IV, and I'm absolutely terrified of needles. Like, I'm petrified when it comes to it. Like, I cry at the mention of it. I'm 14 and I cry at the mention of needles. So what happened was I had to get blood work done needles freak me out. Um, Everything in the blood work came back negative. So I started seeing my old ENT, who did my tonsillectomy when I was about 4 or 5, and so all the blood work was negative. So he didn't know what the hell was going on. So he wanted a representative lymph node. It turned out that they were the lymph nodes. So he wanted the representative lymph node from my neck, and I had to get a biopsy for that. They put me under general anesthesia and everything, but it was sort of a scary experience for me because IV anesthesia, don't like needles. I just don't like most medical procedures, period. So, we had the biopsy. I got my stitches out on Wednesday. Everything went good. Nothing went bad. I sort of had a funny experience when they said, "Do you feel it yet?" Because they sort of gave me an amnesia drug before they knock you out. And then right after they said that, I was like, "No." But then about 3 seconds after I said no, I just started getting really dizzy. And I've never done any drugs or anything before, so I wouldn't know what it feels like to be high. But I imagine that's what it feels like. And it was just really funny being all dizzy and looped out on there, and then I don't remember anything after that. So at this point in my medical journey, they were doing stuff. They were testing the tissue, just to see what it was, like to see if the blood test didn't show that it was cat scratch, but it actually was. So then a few days before we were scheduled to go back and see him to get my stitches out and talk about it. We were watching, it was like the Stars channel, and 50-50 came on, which is a movie with Seth Rogen, and I don't know why I can't remember the other actor's name, where he gets cancer and he has a 50-50 chance of living. And there's the part in the movie where he's diagnosed, he's just sort of, his vision goes blurry, and he's just like, you can hear his heart pounding and stuff. And I looked over at my mom and I said, I feel like that's what would happen to me if I got diagnosed with cancer. And then she sort of looked at me, and then I said, "Why are you looking at me like that?" And then I got really scared, and then she called my dad in, and they told me that I had cancer. The blood tests came back, not blood test, sorry, the tissue test came back positive for cancer. There's bad cells in there. So I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is the cancer of the lymph tissue. So after I was diagnosed and everything, I told most of my close friends, but it was just a lot to swallow at once, so I probably cried for about an hour and 45 minutes after I first was told that I had it. And it's sort of been hard since then. Most of the people know. I told a lot of people today because I went back to school just for the lunch, and I haven't been at school I hadn't been to school in about 3 weeks, and then I finally just went to lunch today, and I was telling some people. But yesterday I went to I'm being treated at Johns Hopkins Hospital, and in Baltimore, Maryland, which is an excellent institution. I met my doctors yesterday. They're really, really nice, and I really, really like them. But I learned that I have to go through chemo, and it was a hard thing to swallow, and just learning that I had to go through chemo, knowing that my summer's probably gonna suck, and that the vacation that I've been waiting to take for a year to the place that I would absolutely most like to go in the world may not happen. It's sort of hard when that just slips away. so fast. And the thing with Hodgkin's is they don't know why I have it. Like, you get lung cancer because you smoke, so people know not to smoke. But they don't know why cells do that for Hodgkin's. The good thing about Hodgkin's is the 1 year survival rate is 92%. So I'm about guaranteed survival because I'm safe to say right about now that I'm stage 1, although we haven't gone through, we haven't put an official stage on it yet. But, sorry, hold on. The rare 8% of people who do die are usually very elderly or very young, and by very young I mean like infancy. So I'm about guaranteed survival with this cancer. And it's just sort of the long-term things that sort of scare me too, like infertility and stuff like that. But we're taking precautions with that, and it's gonna be hard with going through chemo. It's supposed to be a 3 week, every 3 week thing, and with chemo, it's usually you do it about 4 or 6 times, so that's gonna be hard. I have a lot of hair. I ever sent in the first grade, I saw someone that donated their hair for people with cancer, and I wanted to do that too. So in the first grade, I started growing out my hair, and in the third grade, I finally got it cut after it was like, I don't know, it must have been like 16 inches long, but I look like a girl. If I ever find a picture of myself and I can get it on here, I'll show you guys if you want, but my hair's not long enough right now so that I can do anything with it, and that's sort of upsetting me because I really would like it to go to something before I shave it, because I'm just going to shave it before chemo so it just doesn't get everywhere and it's not all messy. It's just sort of hard knowing that it might go to waste, but yeah, I guess that's the least of my problems right about now. They're talking about how my immune system is sort of going to be compromised because of lack of white blood cells, because of the chemotoxins and everything, and it's difficult knowing that there's all these things, and nausea is the least of my worries right about now, because they have medicine for that. I'm pretty sure that medical marijuana is legal in Maryland, which is my state, but I'm not gonna do it if it is. Even if it is, I think it's in the early sort of legal stages with it. But I'm probably gonna have treatment until the start of high school, so it's just gonna consume about my whole summer and then some of the beginning of high school. But right, I'm just glad it sort of hit at the end of the. But I see one upside to the chemo other than, of course, being cured of cancer. And that is I get to share my experience with you guys, and not necessarily like you just like normal people on my channel, but if anybody wants to anybody that has to go through chemo can look at this and they can learn from what the experience that I'm going through, and I'm just glad that they'll sort of have a reference point. But that's about the only other good side that I see from this. But I am gonna survive. I'm not 100% sure about how many videos I'm gonna be putting up when I'm on chemo. It just depends how I feel. Sorry, I know I've used this last gameplay before, but I don't think a lot of you have seen it. I do have sort of a request from people. If anybody watching this has had cancer, and they're doing chemo right now or they have done chemo, I just, or especially people's with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is what I have. I just sort of want some advice on just what the chemo is going to be like. I know it's not going to be pleasant, but just some reference point again before I start going into it would be really nice. But so what's going to happen to me is I'm going back to Johns Hopkins next week, and we're getting a CAT scan and a PET scan to determine my stage of my cancer, which more than likely is 1. And then, but this time the CAT scan has contrast, and it's just gonna be, it's gonna be a lot harder than a regular CAT scan. And then I have to get bone marrow taken out, and I'm gonna be put under general anesthesia for that. Thank God for modern medicine, but I have to get it taken out of my upper pelvic bone. But when they put me under, what they're gonna do is they're also gonna put in my port for chemo, which is to secure access into a vein in my chest, and that is where all the IV chemo is gonna go. But yeah, that's sort of what it's looking like for me, and then I'll start chemo soon. The school year's wrapping up, so I'm trying to get some work done, but it's hard. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to inform you on what's going on, and just sort of tell you my story. There's gonna be a lot of videos talking about the cancer. One, to help people, and two, just to sort of vent. I'd rather do this than keep a journal or something like that. But yeah, that's mostly what I wanted to say. Although I do want to say I've had ever since I got diagnosed, I've had Feel Good Inc. by the Gorillaz stuck in my head, and I don't know how to get it out. That's about the only, other than that, and Carry On by Fun, are like the 2 songs that I've been singing non-stop, and I just can't stop, and I don't know why. I feel as though I know this is sort of going off topic here, but like the Gorillaz, there's like this whole fantasy world in that musical and experiment that they created in Britain. It's just one huge world, and like with 2D and Noodle and Murdoch and everybody, I don't really understand much of it, but I feel like the songs, I really like the meaning of that song, even if my interpretation of it doesn't have to do with all of the characters. But yeah, Britain, quick side note, Britain brings us some pretty good stuff like the Gorillaz, and then it gives us One Direction. So I'm not sure if I should like Britain or if I should absolutely hate them. But yeah, guys, this is just what I want to say. I just want to get some people's advice and then tell you guys what was going on. And what's gonna be going on for the next few months, possibly. We're almost at 50 subscribers, so there should be a milestone coming up soon. But yeah, guys, this is sort of coming to a close. Like and subscribe would really, really help. Yeah. I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully I'll have a good gameplay up soon. I'll see you guys. Bye.
Got a new Windmill, windmill for the